Okay, we're going to SM to meet one of our subscribers. Now it's a bit of a special day as such because he wants to meet Agnes. So we're taking Agnes, but the thing is, I don't think he knows that we're taking Agnes today because they've not been in contact. So it'll be a bit of a surprise for him as well. Now, we're not going to be able to film this for two reasons. One is we can't film in SM, and the other one is he's a very private person. He's from Aussie land and he doesn't want to be filmed, so we can't film it. Now, I just want to address some comments that's been made over the freezer of my Ma's shop. Now the freezer's in that corner. The reason it's in the corner is because it's broke, and I've been getting a lot of comments saying, well, it's no wonder it's broke if it's in that corner and there's no air and all the rest of it. So that's why it's in the corner. The other one is, we got a comment saying, oh, we find it rather strange your mother-in-law can afford to do upgrades on a house, but she can't afford a freezer. Now, at the risk of repeating myself over and over again, her daughter, Mel's mum's daughter, who lives in Holland, who's married to a foreigner, who has her own job, and he's a great husband, and he said, I'm guessing here, I'm guessing he said, whatever you make from your job, you can do with what you want. So Mel's sister decided she wanted to build that house. So practically every penny that Mel's sister gets, she sends here for her mother to build the house. Now she hasn't got any extra money to buy a new freezer. And then we're getting comments, well, why would you want a new freezer when the shop's losing money? Because without the freezer, the shop loses even more money. And Ma's that stubborn, she wants to keep the shop going because it makes some money, and some money's better than no money, I guess. So I just wanted to cover that. I know a lot of you don't like me doing that and you just say forget it, etc. But I can't, that's what my channel's about. I want to explain things, I want to be open about things, and that's why I do and say what I say. You know, a lot of times I shouldn't disclose a lot of information, but if you haven't got the right information, then you can't make the right decisions, and I don't want people to make the same mistakes as I did. And by golly, I made a lot, apart from this one. I didn't perhaps make a mistake here, but time will tell, won't it, Mel? Will time tell if I've made a mistake? Yeah. Do you think I've made a mistake? Will time tell if I've made a mistake? Yeah. Do you think I've made a mistake? No. Look at this handsome little chap. Oh, beautiful eyes. Beautiful eyes. Now, Sophia's in the shop, in case anybody's going to ask where Sophia is. She's in the shop. Her sister's looking after her. It's a really warm day and I love it. It's really bright and shiny. It's just great. Now, while I remember, I've been getting a few messages asking me to give my opinion. What? Whoa, there's no pajamas there, babe. We should be there at 2, and then of course it's Filipino time. Well, let's hope he's still there, eh? About Terry and Beth. Now, before I start, if any comments come on my channel that is kicking them, then I'm just going to delete them, because this isn't about judging and attacking and all the rest of it, because I've had my own fair share of that. People coming to conclusions that are totally wrong when you don't even know somebody. Now, I conversed with Terry, or Terence, what, a year or so ago, when he was asking about actually making it legal. And we conversed and I told him why I'd stopped doing it. And basically the reason we've stopped putting on camera the help that we're giving, we still help 2 families, but we don't put it on camera because it is against the law. We can't do it. It's against Filipino law. Yeah, it sucks and all the rest of it, but at the end of the day, the law's the law. And I risk being deported. If immigration decide that, you know, they want to come after a Brit in the Philippines, and I'm pretty well stuffed, I've got to abide by the law to the letter. And if I don't, or as near to the letter as I think it is anyway, and if I don't, then I'm going to suffer the consequences, which I don't want to suffer, because if I get deported, what happens to these? You know, it's not worth it. You know, we want to help, and we do help as much as we can, but it's not worth it to just make a few videos. So anyway, getting back to Terence, we had a conversation. Now, he said he was going to go and go through the procedure and get it done legally. He said he'd had advice on it, etc. And, you know, hat off to him. But apparently what's happened is he went through the procedure and got denied for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm not going into it. I don't want to go into it. But he basically got denied, and at that point he should have stopped making videos where he was helping folk, but he didn't. For whatever reason, he didn't. Then he got a letter saying stop and desist, and he didn't. So now they're in a position where they're in a lot of trouble, because there's going to be court actions, possible deportation, possible fine, which when I've looked into it, it could be 1 million pesos fine. And I hope not, but imprisonment as well. Now look, at the end of the day, I'm not judging the guy, I'm not judging Beth. You know, they did what they did, they've done a really good job, and they did exactly what me and Mel were doing. We did it out the goodness of our hearts. There was no ulterior motives, and I don't believe for 1 minute there was with Beth and Terence. And I think what's happened is really bad. But a lot of things can be foreseen, and it is what it is. Everybody has to make their own mind up on it, I guess. But we wish them lots of luck and hope things turn out really good for them. Many blessings and all the rest of it. And don't forget, guys, I don't want any comments pulling them down, because they won't get on my channel. I've got to okay all the comments before subscribers see them. So please don't think you can come on the channel. I told you so, whatever. It's not happening. So that's it with that. That's all I've got to say. Not a lot to say about it without beating them over the head, and that's what they don't need right now. So back to the nice thing. Agnes is going to see a foreigner. She's very excited, but she's very...
It seems you're the one excited.
Oh, I'm always excited. She's excited, but she's a bit shy, and she's a bit... Well, I wouldn't say scared, what's it? Anxious. What is she? She's nervous, that's it. She's a bit nervous about it, which is understandable. But at the end of the day, it's just going to see him. It, you know, doesn't mean they're going to get together and married at the end of the day. And that's the thing, you know. you come. What you got to bear in mind is you can talk to somebody on the internet for whatever length of time, and then you might come and meet them and not really have that feeling, you know, not really have any attraction to them. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the age gap is, there's got to be attraction, right? It can't just be, oh well, you know, he'll do, she'll do, whatever. There's got to be some attraction, and that's, you know, part of the reason I say to you, you need to meet somebody, you need to meet the family. Sorry, not somebody, you need to meet the person you're talking to. You need to especially meet the family, because if there's one thing I'm pretty keen on is the family. If you get a bad feeling about the family, walk away, because the chances are, I'm not tarring everybody with the same brush, but I think you won't go too far wrong if you listen to what I'm saying, because it's more important in the Philippines, because family is king. You know, at the end of the day, depending on the type of girl you got, the family will come first. And as a Westerner, and as a male that's probably older than the female you're with, that will be a bitter pill to swallow, because, you know, you expect your partner to put you first and not anybody else, but that's not the Philippine way, I'm afraid, and especially if you're a foreigner. I mean, there's lots of things I love about the closeness of the family, but that's one thing I do struggle with, if I'm honest, which I hope I always am. So I'm hoping everything goes well, but you just never know.
Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way, yeah. Birds chirping and I hear my name, grasping into